Welcome to the Synergistic Leader podcast, where we explore the key factors shaping leadership in education and unlock insights that drive change and make a difference. Now, here is your host, Dr. Beverly J. Irby.
Welcome to the Synergistic Leader podcast, where we explore leadership that goes beyond authority. It's about synergy. I'm Dr. Beverly Irby, Regents Professor, Senior Associate Dean for Academics, and the Marilyn Kent Byrne Endowed Chair for Student Success in the College of Education and Human Development at Texas A&M University. I also serve as Director for the Education Leadership Research Center. The Synergistic Leader podcast is rooted in the synergistic leadership theory, and we know that theory guides actions. This theory was first published as a leadership theory in the 21st century, as we turned into the 21st century. And it was the first published in an educational administration journal, developed and tested by a research team that I led. This theory integrates 4 tested, evidence-based factors: leadership behaviors, organizational structures, attitudes, values, and beliefs, and external forces, which leads into a dynamic, effective, and nonlinear model. Because leadership isn't one size fits all. It's not just about the person at the top. It's about how leadership behaviors flow through people within teams, organizations, and communities. Join us as we dive into real-world strategies, conversations, and insights to help you lead with impact, influence, and innovation. Because here, synergy means stronger schools, empowered leaders and teachers, and brighter futures for students. Ready to lead synergistically? Let's get started. Well, today we have a wonderful guest with us from Huffman Independent School District, Dr. Angeles Perez. And Dr. Perez serves as Superintendent of the Huffman Independent School District, where she is guiding the district through an important time of growth and transition. With a deep commitment to student success and community engagement, she leads with compassion, integrity, and steadfast belief in the power of education to transform lives. Through her career, Dr. Perez has championed the development of equitable and high-quality learning environments that nurture both academic and personal growth. She brings a strong background in curriculum instruction and leadership development, and is highly recognized for her collaborative approach and dedication to empowering educators and students alike. At Huffman Independent School District, Dr. Perez continues to build a culture of trust, reflection, and renewal, fostering a shared vision in which every learner can thrive. Her leadership reflects a balance of strategic direction and genuine care for people she serves, inspiring those around her to pursue excellence and continuous improvement. So there you have it. You know why we invited Dr. Angie Perez to come to be on the Synergistic podcast this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to have you, Dr. Perez.
I am so glad to be here and appreciative of the opportunity.
Wonderful. Well, you know, in the synergistic leadership theory, leadership is enacted daily. So as the district leader in Huffman ISD, which leadership behaviors do you rely on most to maintain strong relationships with educators, families, and the broader community?
So as a new superintendent, it's really important that I started strong. And one of the things that I found have led to my success in this transition has been not forgetting about the power of relationships. And how do you strengthen that? I really do believe that being visible being accessible to all of the stakeholders in the different capacities has really yielded me some good results. And that means I'm in PLCs, I'm visiting buildings, I'm going to events with the community, engaging with our parents, and making them feel like they can reach me at any time they need to celebrate or to share a concern. And so I think that visibility has really permeated through the rest of my leadership team, where we are much more accessible than we were perceived to be previously.
Outstanding. That's a great thing to be, right out there in the community, meaning in your school's community, as well as in the community at large. And that's
Yes.
excellent. So I know that Huffman Independent School District is a small or rural school district here in Texas. And even in smaller systems, that requires an intentional design. So I'm going to ask you this question. How do the organizational structures in Huffman ISD, like collaboration or collaborative routines or leadership teams, how does that support shared responsibility and collective leadership?
So, as you mentioned, a smaller district like Huffman, I feel like those collaboration routines are that much more important because many of us wear multiple hats because we are not as big of an organization. And so it's really important that those of us in leadership roles, that we have those routines to collaborate. So we do cross-curricular and cross-leadership meetings that are at a very high frequency to make sure that we're constantly in alignment, a lot of shared decision making, because yet again, many of us are in various roles, and the impacts and unintended consequences of some of those decisions need to be taken that much more seriously. And it really, though, helps build the sense of empowerment of our leadership team because we collaborate so much. You have your hands in a lot of those decisions, and your voice is that much more amplified within the way that we have structured our leadership.
Absolutely. Having been a superintendent and an associate superintendent as well in a small school district, you do wear lots of hats. And it's a lot of fun. You get to be involved in many, many of the activities, and you learn a lot of the different jobs that are done around the district. So that's really important, I think, as a leader. And it really has helped me as well in being a
Yes.
leader. Absolutely.
You learn enough to be dangerous.
That's right. We won't tell many people that. So, no district or school is insulated from external forces. And external forces is one of the pieces or one of the factors in the synergistic leadership theory that we must pay attention to. And so how do state policies, accountability demands, and community expectations, which are all external forces, how do those influence your leadership priorities? And how do you balance those forces with local needs and values?
So the external forces definitely can keep you up at night, because there's the things that you must do. You have no choice in doing them. And so you must comply with some of those pieces, but you still have to stay true to the vision and the mission of the organization. And so as a leader, it's really important that we keep our kids first. We know the things we must do, but how can we leverage the opportunity to stay true to our vision and mission, which is serving our kids, while still complying with the mandates that we know we have to do. Staying away from some of those external forces like social media, not letting that drive our bus or our message, and making sure that our actions are what are going to provide the clarity on some of those external forces that try to pull you to the left or to the right and away from the center where you need to be.
Excellent. So you actually try to keep everyone focused and on the mission, on the vision, which is critical to do, because we cannot have that drift, away from that, I think. And so you try to keep everyone focused and not insulated, from those external forces, but it sounds like you clarify the external forces. State policies, for example, new state mandates or policies or accountability demands or whatever that might be. I think
Yeah,
that's
we actually, as a leadership team, we talk about the salt shaker methodology, the metaphor of the salt shaker, and where you place that salt shaker is your core, your center core of excellence. And there's going to be so many factors that are going to try and pull your salt shaker out of that center core of excellence. And within the parameters that we can, let's bring that back to the center and in alignment with what we've defined as our core of excellence. And so our leaders in our district, we use that metaphor quite often when we face some of these challenges, but we all stay steadfast in our commitment of keeping that in the center.
Thank you. Well, thinking about that, that's a little bit related also to values. And remember, beliefs, values, and attitudes is also one of the factors in the synergistic leadership theory. So values anchor our leadership decisions, and we know that as leaders. What personal beliefs or leadership values most strongly shape your approach to decision making, and how do you ensure those values are reflected across the district?
It's really important, and I take it very seriously, the fact that I model what I expect of my leaders, and the things that I value are integrity. I know that I consider myself a person with integrity in every decision that I make. Collaboration is really important. A shared voice is something I've always valued, and making sure that everyone sees themselves as a valued voice and they own where we're going and what we're doing. And then just honesty and transparency, because all of those values lead to trust. And when you trust in someone, when you trust in an organization, that's when everything is possible. And so those are the values that we try to instill every day and model as leaders so that we can hopefully see that replicate itself throughout our community.
Wonderful. And trust in the community among community members in a small school district is really, really critical as well, because they are an arm of the school. They help, they come in. I know that they're there for you and, for the children, for all of the teachers, and are helping as much as they can, I'm sure, in your school district.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's think about summing up now. For our last question, when you think about aligning leadership behaviors, organizational structures, external forces, and values, attitudes, and beliefs, what does synergy look like in Huffman ISD, and how do you cultivate it intentionally at a personal level and as you build your team?
So synergy in Huffman ISD looks like everyone, all stakeholders, know why we exist, where we're going, and what our aspirations are. And how did we cultivate that? It's an ongoing process. I feel like our theme this year really captures it. It's passion, purpose, possibility. We all have a passion. You don't go into education without a passion. We know why we're here, but let's make sure we all stay in alignment with that reason why we're here. Our purpose is to serve students. Everyone knows our purpose is here to provide the very best outcomes for our kids. And with that, the possibilities are endless. And so we say it all the time. All of our meetings, all of our events are centered around those three things. And so that synergy comes from everyone buying in, believing, and living that. And so I'm excited about the future of Huffman ISD. And, synergy is very important to the ongoings of an organization, and it goes beyond just one person in an office or the individuals that serve in the district. It's a whole community effort.
Thank you so much, Dr. Perez, for being here this afternoon. And, we wish you all the best as you embark on your new role as superintendent. And it sounds like that you've been a superintendent forever. So we are so happy for you and for the school district and for the community there in Huffman, Texas. So we wish you all the very best. And I will say that my last word will be that let's lead with synergy. And that means stronger schools, empowered leaders and teachers, and brighter futures for our students. And that's what you're building. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Synergistic Leader podcast. You can look for our episodes on YouTube and Spotify.
This podcast is housed in the College of Education and Human Development at Texas A&M University, where we transform lives.